I've been thinking about my childhood again, and I want to review something about the town that I grew up in and the properties and businesses that my parents owned. When I was 4 years old, our family moved into a small town in Michigan. My dad worked for the state of Michigan, and this house was part of his job perks. I lived here from kindergarten through third grade. Having a family of 6 girls, my parents decided to become landlords, and the reason they told us that they wanted to do this was to help us pay for college. This property my parents rented out to LDS missionaries. I remember a senior missionary couple that lived here, and the sister missionary died here. The family didn't want any of the stuff, and so we inherited a ton of the quilts that she'd made. My parents did not hold on to this property for very long, but the rest of them they did. This piece of work is property too, and it looks just as shitty as when we had it, maybe worse. It was a multi-unit apartment complex. This is where I wiped Bloody Mary vomit off the walls as a little girl. This is where we carried out the urine-soaked furniture of a man that was a drunkard who died in the front apartment. It's still located right across the street from the county hospital. This is the property that I hated the most. The basement scared me, and in the little white door apartment there on the left was where a tenant lived that I could not stand. As you can see, that's a lot of lawn mowing between properties 1, 2, and 3, but wait, there's more. My folks became homeowners when I was in 4th grade and started to take over the neighborhood. They didn't approve of the people who lived across the street from us with their loud music and their drinking, so they bought the place, and it was always very hard to rent out. When my oldest 2 sisters, who were twins, went off to college, Mom got depressed, and so, to cure her depression, she got a knit shop business, as if there weren't still kids at home to raise. This was an additional load to the apartments. I admit that I kind of like it that the second site where her business was located doesn't exist anymore. My youngest sister, who in our narcissistic family system is the golden child, lived and grew up as a toddler and young child in the knit shop. My mom would spoil her by getting her brand new clothes, taking her out to McDonald's every week. And anyway, things changed for my father, and we suddenly found ourselves having to move out of this town. So when I was in 8th and 9th grade, we lived somewhere else. But we came back, and the buying continued. I got a job at Dairy Queen, but they didn't like me not working for their new business, a daycare center, which is now gone, torn down for a parking lot. Not one of us girls actually did end up seeing any of that money for college. I wonder why. Part 2 next.